Set Piece Podcast.
Hi, I'm Miles Weston.
And I'm Kerry Phillips.
And this is the Set Piece Podcast.
Where we talk about everything to do with mental health, football and well-being.
We got the infamous
Yeah. The man, the main
Parker.
man. The man, the myth,
Come
the legend.
on, man.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you. Thank you for having me first and foremost.
How was
Come
your
on,
journey
man.
here?
It wasn't too bad. I had a little stop off. I had to go and have a meeting before, which I apologise for being late. But other than that, all good.
Big meetings.
Yeah. Try and.
Josh, hey, listen, Josh is one of my friends, that he's always doing something.
This is good,
something,
though.
which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
Keep him busy and
Yeah.
doing something, which I think is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always involved in something positive. So, yeah, man. Like,
And
what you
it's-
been up to anyway?
Yeah.
Loads. Obviously, still kicking ball, 11s at Oxford, Baller League, running my retreats. I did a bit of mentoring in a school, just loads. Like, for me, I'm just trying to do and experience as much as I can and have as much of a positive impact as I can whilst still obviously being on my own journey at the same time.
Yeah.
How are you finding juggling it all?
If I'm honest, I'm someone that, because I see myself as multifaceted, I need that like diverse portfolio of things that I'm into. I've never been one to just kind of tunnel vision or tunnel into something.
Yeah.
When I'm in something, I'm fully into it. But then, say for example, when I leave football, it's not about football anymore. It's about, I don't know, being dad or
Right.
running my retreats or planning what I'm doing next. So I kind of I'm multifaceted, but when I'm in something, I'm focused purely on that.
Yeah. And that takes a lot of mind space to be in. How do you make sure that you're able to get into that?
For me, it's quite easy because everyone knows me for being extremely disciplined. So I pour into myself before I pour into those things. And that's why people associate me with certain maybe practices or how I live my life or how I eat or fasting or whatever it is. But all they're doing is seeing what I do for myself.
Yeah.
So then that's just basically become my identity.
So basically, you're just leading by example.
By example,
Yeah.
So I just do what I do,
Yeah.
and people just have gravitated towards that. And it's like that old quote: "Be yourself long enough, and someone will pay you to be yourself." So basically, when I started running the retreats, it was basically like people would always ask me questions about fasting and hiking and breath work, and I was like, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I can create a package where someone comes and experiences those things, but I'm just doing what I do anyway.
Yeah. So you're building it around what you do.
Yes, it's an extension of me.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't no hard work for me because it's what I do anyway.
Yeah. So this is standard, and you get to have a retreat as well.
100%, 100%.
You take yourself
So it's-
away.
Like, it's not anything outside of my norm.
Yeah. So can I ask about, obviously, you're at Ballers League now?
Yep.
Because that's sort of obviously a recent addition. What's that been like overall?
It's been very eye-opening. The world is very content-driven nowadays, and I'm not really that guy. It's probably one of my downfalls and something that I've been trying to tap into, especially even over the last month, like trying to be regular with my content. Because someone said a quote to me. They were like, the person who is seen is the person that gets booked. So I was like, if I'm not seen, all these things that I want to do after football, no one's going to associate them with me. So I need to be seen and be heard in order to kind of have the opportunities. But Baller League, it feels fun because although it is competitive and you want to win, you get to see old faces. It is content driven, so there's that kind of facade that you have to put on to some degree. But it's just made me enjoy football again because it's 7-a-side.
Yeah.
There's no real actual pressure. It's not like you can get relegated or lose your job.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just been a breath of fresh air. And I didn't have intentions on playing it. It was Dan who plays for Antigua with us, who was like, come on, bro, you always said life's about making memories. Like, this is just another thing on the CV. So I was like, you know what, you got me there. So, yeah.
The reason why I asked that, because I remember having a conversation off of this, behind this, away from this, I should say. And I remember, like, we was talking and you was kind of borderlining that the content side of things, being the face is not really your kind of thing. So I'm like, for you to step into it now, I'm like, that must have been a bit of a, not a challenge, but it's different, isn't it? Out your comfort zone, if you will.
Yeah, and I do a lot of like inner work and inner questioning, and I've come to the kind of conclusion that the thing that you tend to run away from most is the thing that probably will save you. So me not doing content or saying it's not for me is probably the reason why certain things that I want maybe are not coming around quick enough. But as soon as I started posting more and being seen, certain opportunities have come my way. So I'm like, I was running from it, but in actual fact, people wanted to hear from me and see me and hear my opinions on things.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, it's watering a seed that I originally planted just by wanting to do it in the first place.
Do you think sometimes we downplay like the significance of what we maybe bring to others because we don't want to feel like we're maybe like arrogant or too confident in terms of like being out there?
Yes and no. I think we're all similar. I think me,
100%.
Josh, and you are similar. I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same, Josh. This social media thing is
Can't stand it.
mad.
Hard work, bro.
I'm telling you.
Saying that, we're
Like-
doing a podcast.
No, but
Yeah.
the basis behind this is not for financial gain.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
People that obviously are on social media understand it better than we understand
Yeah,
it and know
100%.
that they can monetize everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't picture just videoing
Yeah.
me everything. But people have got it down to a T.
Yeah.
And they're the people that are the best at it.
Yeah.
The people that can just put a camera up and talk to the camera and navigate things and explains things, and they're the best at it. But I feel like it's true. We have to come out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
We can't stay in the comfort zone, because if you stay in your comfort zone, you're only going to get so far. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And the reason why you guys will do this and you're happy to do it and invest your time into it is, I keep using this term, I think I've coined it, but basically this is your overspill in terms of you've got whatever you've got going on anyway. This ain't not adding to it. It is adding to it, but it's not taking away from what you've got going on.
Yeah.
This is basically just you pouring more into whatever's going on and giving people
so
a platform
true.
to talk. This is your overspill. Like your
Yeah.
cup's full already.
Yeah. It's
That's
true.
big. That's so big. Yeah, and you're right. It is about trying to get into that place where like you have a space where, do you know what, you're doing something and it's not something that you're like, this is the be all and end all. And it needs to be a thing of where if something comes of it, great. But I've still got what I want. Do you know what I mean?
Like doing something without I literally posted about it today on my Instagram. Doing something with intention, but without want or need for a return.
Yeah.
Just because you want to. And that's
Yeah.
the intention. Like I said, that will probably be the thing that sets you free or like saves you. Someone will go, guys, come and speak at a PFA event. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? We're just doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the content side, social media side of things. Only, was it about a month ago? Was it you two showed me how to turn your camera around on Instagram? Like, on your story.
Yeah,
Like,
genius.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
gosh. Like, so when I'm seeing certain things, like I've got my niece, like shout out my baby girl, Jalea. She does all the background stuff in terms of that. But I'm just like, I can't.
It's
can't be
hard
bothered.
work, you know.
It's long.
It's not easy. Like, and this is why, like, even when you're talking about footballers, they have people that run their accounts.
Yeah.
They don't even run it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they've got people that post up whatever they do. If they score, they do the post.
Yeah.
Because they can, not only they don't want to do it, but they can afford to.
Yeah.
They can afford to have a whole social media team that knows, okay, this is the algorithm. We got to post this today.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got to say this today.
Yeah.
But you see, when you're not in that space, I don't have that kind of finances. You have to kind of learn for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's why I see like
Right.
me doing content now is just a precursor to kind of broaden what I do with my retreats and stuff. So
Yeah.
people might not be able to come on my retreats now, but if they can build a relationship with me through my social media, then they might come on a retreat in 3 years' time, or they might
Yeah.
come to a talk in next year.
Yeah.
So it's just a way for people to kind of build a relationship with the person behind the brand.
Of course.
And do you know why it's so important? I'll never forget when a gentleman that was like my mentor, if you will, Simon, we were sitting down at Bellingham Leisure Centre and he said to me, you need to get your face out more. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm fine, thank you. And he said to me that he's a white gentleman, and he was so transparent with me. He said, you're doing stuff with regards to mental health, right? It's specifically men at the time, right? As men, especially black men as well, they need to see a face that's familiar like theirs to actually get and be able to engage into something rather than seeing a flyer that says men's forum, come and talk and have safe space. If your face is not there and they can't see that, they can't see behind what is the actual identity in itself.
And they won't allow themselves to be vulnerable.
100%. And
Yeah.
only since that that's when my organisation kind of flourished, because even we started getting more funding, because I'm sure the funders are probably seeing who it is. Do you know what I mean? And then the people that are coming, that, as you said, a couple years down the line, you've got a food bank now. Do you know what I mean? You've got all of this stuff. So what you're saying there is so important. Like, it might be later on down the line, like 3 years, somebody's going to say, do you know what? I interacted. Let's say, for example, they might have just seen you now through Ballers League.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, I've interacted with Josh. Now I'm going to go to the retreat. You know what I mean? So football, when did it start, man? What age did it start for you? Because you've been playing it for
long
all your life.
Yeah, literally. Probably similar to most people. I don't really remember the early stages. Like, you know, when, I don't know, maybe your granddad or your dad put a ball at your feet and you're kicking it. You don't really remember those things. You might remember a couple of games from like the ages of 6 to 8 and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But it's all I've ever really known.
Yeah.
Although I've had like various periods throughout it where I've been without it.
Yeah.
For me, it was my only identity for a long time. I never accepted any other choice than pro footballer.
Yeah. And
I never had a plan B.
not one.
Not one. Like, people used to ask me, I was like, there's no point asking me because I will. Like, I will be a professional footballer.
Wow.
And it just goes on to back what I say about intention. I didn't know that I was almost not manifesting it, but I was like willing it upon myself by just kind of not accepting a plan B. When you accept a plan B, you leave like an error for margin, a margin for error, sorry.
Yeah.
And I remember people used to go, oh, what will you be if you don't do this? And I was like, there's no point asking me because I will.
Yeah.
And it's just because I never had another option. For me, it was like, this is what I want. And if I want it, then I will have it. But what we do as human beings is we try and dictate the time frame. That's why I say to some people, like, you might be 21 and be playing non-league, but you might get there at 24. Don't try and dictate or play God and say this is the time frame and then I'm going to give up. No, if you want it, you will go for it and there won't be any other outcome.
That makes sense.
What age was you saying that? What age did you have this mindset? If you don't mind me asking.
Always, always. And I know people, it sounds cliche because people are like, yeah, I've always had this mindset. No, it's probably similar to you. When you was playing growing up, you was probably always the best. Like, or one of the best in your top 2.
Yeah.
So I've never known anything other than that. I was always the fastest. I was always scoring tons of goals. So I was like, it's just meant to be. Like, no one can touch me. And that's, I just felt invincible. Obviously, then when you start to get into academies, you realize there's other people like you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we all played in a Sunday league team that won every game.
Yeah.
Won the league. You scored 25 goals, like whatever it is. But then when you start to get into the academy, you realize there's other people that are good. And that's when the kind of the humility side comes in and the hard work comes in. Because you're like, okay, it's not always going to go my way.
Did you still have the mindset when you went into academy though?
Yeah, so I went into academy late. So I was in academy when I was younger, but I didn't enjoy it. I always had and still do now to some degree, a problem with authority.
Yeah.
So I hated being told how to play. I was like, I've gone from Sunday league, just running around with my friends, doing what I do and knowing how to do it, to you telling me, run here, do this, do that. And I didn't like it. So I went to QPR when I was 16. But quickly, the thing that allowed me to, how do I explain it, to settle in and those nerves to go, because I'm like, I heard about people like Dean Parrott at the time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's going Tottenham, he's this and that. And I'm like, I remember on the first day, Steve Gallen did a race and I won the race. That automatically knocked all the nerves out of me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm already ahead of you at something.
That's big. Yeah.
So like that kind of, and Elliot was in that race as well, Cox.
Oh, was he?
And we had a couple of fast people, like it's like Antonio.
Was Sterling?
Elliot.
Was Sterling in that same race?
No, he wasn't in the race,
but he was in there. Yeah.
But it was Elliot, Dean Parrott was fast those times.
Yeah.
Antonio, German.
Yeah. Antonio was quite fast.
Yeah. And I remember we did a like race from the 6-yard box to the halfway line and back. And because I won it, it kind of almost gained me a little bit of respect. They're like, okay.
He's quick.
Yeah. And I also remembered the kind of, you know, the boxes that you do before you go in straight, like the passing boxes where you pass it and then you follow.
Yeah.
I always remembered from when I was in the academy when I was like 11, the things that they look for. Peel off and go, yes. So I was doing those things, whereas another boy who was on trial was just like kind of going through the motions, not saying nothing. So I was like, I've already got their attention because I know what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I signed quite late to. Yeah, I didn't even sign when I was 16. I had to come back in pre-season because they were doing the scholarships.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't really, even though we make the decision, that usually it's the 18s manager and he hasn't got a chance to see you because it's near the end of the season. So I had to come back, and funnily enough, it was Steve Brown that took over, and obviously he was from Wycombe.
So correct me if I'm wrong now, but like would 16 be too late, or a bit too late for somebody to get into an academy?
No, I
Now.
think that's the right time.
About
I think
this age now.
that's the no. I wouldn't say the right time. I think that's the important time
Yeah.
because that's when they offer scholars and pros.
Yeah.
So when you get to 16, that's crunch time, I should say.
Yeah.
That's the time you want to get in.
So
Like,
even if you're
before-
not in an academy,
no, it doesn't. And this is what I try to say to parents now. Like, I don't. If your son's the best at 9, who cares?
Yeah, I think it's different now. Like a lot more teams, probably because of the finances and how everything's going, they tend to look down the leagues a lot more. But when maybe me and Westy were coming through, like you had to be in an academy, and there might have been 1 or 2 anomalies that kind of didn't play in an academy that got snapped up.
But my thing is, as I said, like you see, like you want these kids to be good and enjoy it, like regardless. What academies do is give you fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
So if Josh going in at 16, he might still be a bit raw.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But while all the other boys might have the passing fundamental, as you said, he was fast.
Yeah.
So they might be thinking, okay, Josh is fast. How can we utilize him the best now with his pace? But the other boys might be fast and technical.
Okay.
Not saying Josh ain't technical.
There's a prime
But do you
example
get
of
what I'm
that,
saying?
'cause I've always been a striker.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I went into my scholarship, they played 4-3-3. I was used to playing a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And I moved to left of a front three.
Okay.
So like that, like you said, like that was kind of a learning curve because then they're having to teach me. I was used to kind of making a run and someone just playing me the ball and me being faster than everyone and going to score. Whereas now I'm getting the ball to feet and they're
You have to
teaching
take
me how
someone on.
to take someone on or
Yeah.
go inside and outside or go for a bounce pass. They were kind of teaching me without me knowing that they were teaching me. They were just like taking down the line. So they were shouting at stuff at me and it kind of,
Yeah. So it's, as I said, there's no right time to get in. But it's just that if you have been in the academy, they've had more time to give you the fundamentals.
Right.
But I'd say 16 is the time you want to be because that's when they offer scholarship and pro contracts.
Yeah.
So how did you get to that academy phase without being in an academy? Did somebody see you and...
Yeah, I always had teams like asking me to go and train, but I just had that kind of not traumatic experience, but like that experience of when I was younger, they're going to tell me what to do, they're going to change me. And then my godfather basically said to me, like, now's the time you have to make a decision. It's football or it's not. Like now is the right time where they can mold you, etc., etc. So QPR was the closest team to me.
Yeah.
It was either QPR or Fulham, and QPR was closer because my mum was doing all the running around.
Do you mind me asking, what was the experience that you had? Why the authority side of things kind of got to you in that side?
I think we all have it to some degree. When you grow up on a council estate, you see the older kids trying to talk down to you and you know you can't fight them, so automatically it becomes a war of words. You might say something and run off, but you're going to say something.
Yeah.
Then you're just cutting and they're trying to chase you. But it comes from there. Like it goes competition of some kind, war of words, and then scrapping. But if you can't scrap the person or they're older than you, you're going to run. So I just always knew or learned from growing up that, you can't tell me what to do. Because that's what I'd say to one of the older people in the council estate. So like my mum was fine. I never had any my mum was the only person that could really tell me anything.
Yeah.
Even in school, I'd get in trouble because I'm like, you can't tell me what to do. So I think it just comes from like your environment.
That's good that you could run because I was fat. I couldn't. It's one of those ones where I couldn't even say nothing like that. Like, I'm getting caught. I'm getting caught and punched up.
That's funny.
So
Even to I was thinking, I used to do that to my older cousins.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
older
like,
cousins.
you
Yeah,
say something,
yeah. Go run to your uncle. Go run to your uncle. Yeah. You're right, uncle. Yeah. Those are memories, you know. No, those are memories, but it's so true. So QPR, how long was you at QPR for then?
I was there till I was 20. Yeah, 20 is when I left. But that was when all the madness was going on at QPR. Like we had, I think, 13 managers. The Italians took over the F1 guys.
So you saw it all then?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was fun. I can't lie. Because obviously not being in the thick of it and being a young kid, like the promising kid coming through and watching it, it was fun to watch. I'm like, oh my God, this is like a film.
Yeah.
Like manager getting sacked left, right and centre, players having fights with the manager. But I'm just there, like literally just watching it. So yeah, it taught me a lot.
Okay.
It taught me like a lot about the game because we had like people like Shabazz that were in our team.
Yeah, big up
Like,
Shabazz.
like in the years above me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they're talking about these kids like they're gonna take over the world, and then new manager came in and basically just got rid of all of them, and I was like, bro, that's how it can go, because they were playing in the first team. Spaz was playing in the first team, and there was a guy called Dominic Shimon,
I know
Pat
Dominic.
Kanyuka.
Yeah,
There was one player, I don't even know what he's doing anymore, but he actually looked after me proper. His name was Kieran Saint-Ami, and he was supposed to be the guy. Like, he was scoring loads of goals in the youth team, and they just literally new manager came in and just basically said, "You're all gone."
Didn't,
And I was
just
like,
done
"Oh my
that.
god, it's cutthroat like that."
that's how ruthless football can be, man.
Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah. And then you had someone like Ange who came out of nowhere. Ange came, I think, as a second year. He didn't even do the first year. He just came out of nowhere.
Was he at QPR?
Yeah.
So he done the scholars then.
Yeah,
then...
but he literally came in his second year, so he must have been 17, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Like, no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
I don't even still know to this day what team he came from. It might have been Sunday League.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's-
Big up Ange, man.
did a
as
madness.
well.
Did
Yeah.
a madness. Within about 6 months, he was in the first team scoring goals.
Serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it's
plays for
been
my
madness.
team now, Ange.
You joke.
Angelo Bellano.
He was
Bellano?
Bellano,
okay.
Yeah.
The way he just came in and just bagged bare goals, and I was like, his
Yeah.
technique was off the Richter scale.
Colombian though, isn't it?
Yeah, the man there.
Trust me.
Flipping hell.
Yeah.
So,
But go on.
no, go on.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, so being in and around that environment, you said it taught you a lot. What did it teach you specifically?
That even though I'd got my scholarship, nothing after that was promised, so I still hadn't made it. But it's weird. As a 16-year-old, you feel like once you got your scholar, you kind of, I'm a professional now, but you're not. And even if you get your pro, you still might not be because you haven't played a game. It doesn't actually hold no weight.
Yeah, I have the same beliefs of that. I don't feel like you're playing one appearance for QPR or for any professional team don't make you a professional in my eyes.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the first team players. They basically said to me, you shouldn't call yourself a professional till you played 100 games.
Because my thing is, the reason why I say that, I respect you getting to that level because it's tough to even, you beat millions of boys and girls or whatever to get to that level.
Yeah.
But if you, I've had a player in my team, not going to name no names. He played in the Prem for Watford, and a year later he was non-league.
Wow.
So one professional appearance does not make you a professional. He can say that I've played for Watford,
of course.
but you can't say that you're a professional. You're playing non-league with me.
And that's the thing.
Do you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
I've got the stats on my phone because I was actually going to do a video about it. But obviously to get your pro, the numbers, like the likeness is crazy. Like it's like 1% of 1%. Like, it's
What
like,
of
it's like
oh,
2,000 kids out of like 2 million. Something crazy.
They say 1% is to make it, and to play in the Premiership, I think is 0.012% to make it to be a Prem player.
So that's what I'm saying. Like loads of people will get their pro, but then even to make a first team appearance, the likeness goes
Even
down
lower,
drastically.
yeah.
And then it's something like within 3 years, most people are actually not playing football at all
Yeah.
that sign their pro.
That's mad. That is mad. Because I was, once again, won't name names where I was, but like, I was advised that like, you'll have an academy and it may be like 1 or 2 that they think are going to actually make it.
And they know that from the jump, by the way.
They know who, but it's like they've got the players around them just so they can make a team in order to showcase them.
No, that's purely what it is. And then if 1 or 2 more kind of do something, it's a surprise, and they'll be like, okay, like we'll give them a chance, we'll give them a pro, but then they're more than likely going to fall out.
Yeah.
And it's mad because I was just thinking, there are kids out there that think that they're going to, and they've got, not that they haven't got any care for them, but like you're here to kind of make up numbers for
100%.
this.
But I think that I agree with that. That is true. So they know who they're going to push, right? But you still can make it.
Yeah, I'm not
Maybe
saying you
not
can't
at
make
that club.
it.
Maybe not at that
Yeah.
club, but you being in that environment, and even because I always say, you see, football, it's taught me everything.
Yeah.
So my thing is, it's not like, it's true what you're saying. They might be like, okay, Josh and Kerry are the 2 that were pushing, and Miles, you're the one that is not going to thingy. But I'm learning from you 2, and I'm learning from everything they're teaching me. So if I leave this club and I go to another club, they're going to be like, oh my God, he's still got the fundamentals from like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
But I think what it is with that is that you've got to make sure you've got that mentality.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Because if your mentality is to make it at your club that you're at now, for some young people, it's just like everything's lost because it's not there. That and it's similar to, you know what, you hit the nail on the head, Josh, because you said like sometimes don't think that, okay, because I haven't made it at this time or this place, that's why I haven't made it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like they think that I was supposed to make it here, so this is why I'm supposed to. And if I don't make it here, it means that's everything else is done.
That's like undeniable intention doesn't have a time frame. So if you just have the intention of being a professional footballer, it doesn't have a time frame. You can't dictate when it happens, but your intention is this is the only outcome.
Yeah.
But that has to be matched with action. So I can have the intention of, I want to play 250 career games, but that also has to be reinforced by the action that I'm willing to do and the sacrifices that I'm willing to do. Which is where most people felt. I did a video the other day where I said Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't preordained to be Cristiano Ronaldo. He had an intention that he was going to go, I want to win a Ballon d'Or. So there's the intention. The action is he trains more than everyone else. Everyone will say that. Hardest worker. First in, last out. And then it's the sacrifice. Might not spend as much time with his kids as me and you do, but that's a sacrifice he's willing to make. I'll come home, I'll sleep for 4 hours. I'll have food with the kids. Then I'll go in my ice bath, sauna, all these things. So it's those three things that will dictate your outcome.
And it's similar to, I think I said it off, was it off air? It's like, choose your hard, innit?
100%.
Like sometimes it's like, wake up 5 a.m. and go to the gym is hard. But also losing the weight after you've put on a whole load of pounds is hard. 100%. So you've got to just really choose your hard. What
I did that with my son. I don't know if you remember, about 2 years ago. So my son goes to boxing twice a week, either Monday, Wednesday or Friday. And one day he was like, I don't want to go. I was like, you ain't got to go. I can't force you to do anything. I'd like you to go because it teaches you a lot. I was like, but you're going to choose your hard. And he was like, yeah, I'm cool with whatever. I just don't want to go today. Made him pick up leaves for 2 hours in my garden. He was raging. I was like, pick your hard. You could have gone and chilled with your friends, did an hour of exercise, got a little sweat on, got fitter, learned to protect yourself. But when you become an adult, you might not have those same options because you've got obligations and responsibilities. But right now you have choice.
Yeah. Big.
So
big.
That's top.
That's big.
That's top.
big.
Yeah,
that's big.
top.
Yeah, you
That's
think,
top.
okay, you're not just going to sit down though.
Listen,
no.
Listen, I said, me and Josh, we think similarly. Like, I wouldn't take fun away from my kids, no way. But I do believe if you tell me, like I said, you want to be a footballer, then you got to sacrifice. 100%. You have to. You can't tell me that you want to be a footballer and I know what it takes to be a footballer. You got to listen to me then. So if I tell you to go and do work on your left foot, then you got to work on your left foot.
And that's why.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Part of it is also, I will never tell my children to do something that I haven't done myself. Or I never speak on an experience that I haven't had. I'm big on that. Like, if someone says to me, I don't know, what's it like visiting Vietnam? I'm not going to speak on it because I've seen some stuff on the internet. If I haven't been there and had the hands-on experience, I'm not going to speak on it. But I will never tell my kids to do anything that they don't see me do. So people always see me post my kids doing burpees, like as a punishment, because I'm not really big on smacking them. But they see me do burpees. And I'm like, you can dictate whether you do burpees based on your behavior. I've got to do them because I've got to put food on the table.
Wow.
Facts.
Wow.
So you have choice. I don't.
Wow. Yeah, that's big. That's big. So then we're at QPR. Was you when you went on loan to Wimbledon and Northampton, you still at QPR?
Yeah.
Okay. What was those loans? Go on. Yeah.
That was mad. Like, Wimbledon for me was, I don't like the word humble. It brought me down to earth because I'd been at QPR where you get your towels, you get your kit laid out, all of these things, you have boot room. And then going to Wimbledon, I was like, this is nuts. Like, it was just like, it wasn't professional in my head. And I just didn't take to it. It became, instead of playing football, it became long ball like you see all the time in non-league. And I remember the reason I actually left there, I felt personally attacked a little bit. I felt like they were trying to make a point of me. Right. I remember we had a game where we had to meet at like 5 a.m. in the morning, and we didn't have a chance to get food, so they stopped off at a petrol station at maybe like 6 a.m. And they were like, grab your food, blah, blah, blah. So I grabbed literally a chicken royale, no chips, no nothing. These lot have all got BLTs, Haribos. I put my sandwich on my table on the bus, and I think I forgot something in my car. Went to go and get it, came back and it was gone. And I was like, oh, who's taking my thing? And they were like, oh, the manager's got it. And then I walked to the front. I was like, can I have my sandwich, please? And he was like, what do you think this is? Like, started going off at me. And I'm like, but you've put like 10 packs of Haribos on each table. I've gone for the healthiest thing I can find in a petrol station, and you're on my case. So then he didn't give me it back. Went and sat down, and I'm raging. And then we was playing Oxford that evening, and he dropped me out of the squad. Like completely out of the squad. I was in the stands. And I remember I went down to the change room after, and he's raging because I think they lost like 3-0. And he was like, you're in training tomorrow. You're in training tomorrow. And when he got to me, I went, don't point at me. I'm not coming back. And I was like, I was like, I can't do this. But was I wrong? Maybe. There's always that duality to think, yes, I was wrong, and no, I wasn't. Like, I spoke my truth, and I think my truth was valid, but maybe it's the wrong place, wrong time. But you're a kid, so...
Yeah. How old are you?
I was 18.
Do you know what I was going to say? Like, I know if he knew now, he wouldn't have obviously bought that. But at the time, you see, when you're in a different environment, like... rules are different.
Yeah.
So probably the rules was probably different at that club than what Josh was used to.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
100%.
But then people were buying
Sweets. People having sweets for breakfast.
but BLTs and like that. So,
but it's one of the ones where now, as a 35-year-old man, I kind of don't look at anything that he did. I just look at myself.
Right. Okay.
Like,
Accountability.
what could I have done? Like, accountability for me is number one now. And if I could go back, I'd change it. I didn't do anything with bad intentions. That's my thing. Like, I wasn't trying to
obviously
like,
to make any
problems. That's why I didn't get chips. I didn't like, and I see what everyone else was getting. So I kind of waited for them to get stuff to see like what was cool. And that's why I went with chicken, not a burger, because I was like, a burger like looks nuts.
But do you know what it is? They're probably thinking, oh, he's on loan. He's not from our club.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? He's trying to take it. That's how they probably was looking at it. Do you know what I mean?
So then to Northampton,
that one kind of threw me a little bit, because after I came back from Wimbledon, 3 weeks later made my QPR debut. I played a resi game, and Warner could just come in, and his number 2 kind of pulled me into a separate change room a couple of days after the game. He was like, I spoke to the manager, like, I rate you very highly. You're going to be on a squad on Saturday. And I was baffled. I was so baffled. And then I remember we played a behind closed doors game against Tottenham. They had Harry Kane, Townsend, Carl Walker, Carl Norton, and I had a worldie.
Did you see?
Worldie. And I remember basically Tottenham inquired about me. And then Bournemouth, Eddie Howe was there at the game, and they wanted to take me on loan then. They were like, he'll start this weekend. And Warnock went, no, I want him around my first team, blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool. Didn't put me back in the squad. And then about 2 weeks later, sent me on loan to Northampton. So my head was flying. I was in a hotel for like a month. They started playing me right midfield. I'd never played there in the 4-4-2. And my head was just flying from the get-go, because I was like, I could have been Bournemouth in League One at the time, and they were flying.
Yeah, they got promoted that year.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I remember I found out later that I think the manager, his son was an agent also for the manager of Northampton. So it's kind of a favour.
Okay.
But I went there, didn't enjoy it one bit. Met a lot of cool people, and a lot of people that have had good careers and stuff like that. But same there, I was like, I'm not enjoying it here. I want to go back.
Yeah.
After about 3 games, I was just like, this ain't for me. I learnt a lot there. And then came back to QPR, played a couple more games, went on pre-season with them. Warnock offered me a new deal. He offered me a 3-year contract. My agent at the time was like, I don't think you should take it.
Yeah.
I think you'll play a couple more games and then they'll offer you something better. But I was like, I just want a contract. 3 years,
course,
3 years, it's the dream. Played a resi game. I can't remember who it was against, but it was at the Aldershot ground. Someone pushed me over, broke my collarbone.
Wow.
Came back, got fit. These times Warnock started playing me right back. Never played right back in my life. But I was like, if I'm playing in the champ and I'm playing right back, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then 2 right backs got injured. I thought, this is me now. I'm going to have a run of games. They're like, someone's coming on loan. I'm like, oh my God. And so right back, I'm thinking like, oh, he's sabotaging me. He's offered me a new deal and he's brought someone on loan. It was Carl Walker.
Oh my goodness.
But
So,
Carl
yeah.
Walker weren't Carl Walker then.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he had just been on loan at Northampton and gone back to Tottenham. This went,
That's when he moved to Tottenham, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So Tottenham had bought him and Carl Norton at the same time.
I remember
Sheffield,
that. I remember
you-
that.
when-
Sheffield
United, yeah.
He came in and listen, guy was
Crazy.
different. Like I think he got he played 15 games. I think he got 13 MOMs.
Wow.
Did you? But was you on the bench at this time though?
Yeah.
You was on the bench.
Yeah.
So you were still getting
Around.
experience by
Yeah,
being
yeah.
on the bench, but you
Yeah.
just didn't make no appearances.
No.
Okay.
So I didn't
Okay.
I think I made maybe 9-10 appearances for QPR, but at the end of the season, Warnock was like, I'm still, after I did my collarbone, he was like, I'm happy to offer you a new contract, but I think for you to flourish, you need to go and find your feet. Because he said, you can always go on loan and come back, and you're never going to thrive unless you're kind of backs against the wall. And I was like, you know what? I actually don't, now he said that, I actually didn't want the deal.
Yeah.
But I was also scared at the same time because this had been my comfort zone for 5 years.
Yeah, of course.
And I felt secure there and it was close to home. And I was like, where do I go next? What is next? So yeah, then I left there at the end of the season.
And where did you go to after that?
Oldham,
Oldham. So
What league was Oldham in?
won.
and that's
Oldham was in League One and QPR's Championship.
They just got promoted to the Prem.
Yeah. So you
And you still wanted to leave after they said they would have given you a
because
contract.
I had a lot of teams interested, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be worse off financially.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to play more,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to keep doing this loan back.
Would you change that now?
Obviously, I wouldn't change anything in my life.
No,
But,
but
if I was there,
would you
I would have took the 3-year contract
and then gone on loan to the
Yeah.
champ?
Yeah.
Because that's what I like. Do you know what it is, yeah? Because you see what people have to understand about having ties to the Premiership team.
Hey.
Like,
Hold to wait.
listen, I'm telling you, even if you're not playing, even if you having a ties, the thing is, you can always go on loan, but you're going back to the Prem.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you see, sometimes you have to leave. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted. Sometimes you have to leave. But with young players, I feel like you have to make sure you leave at the right time.
Yeah.
If you leave at the wrong time, I'm not saying you left at the wrong
Yeah.
time, but a lot of players have been in that
Yeah.
situation where they're
100%,
like, you know what, I want to find my feet, and then it goes
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah.
and wrong and
Yeah.
wrong. When you could have just, even if it goes wrong with 3 years, you still got 2 years.
Yeah.
So one of them years can be right.
100%.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? One of them years, that's all you have to get right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So you was at Oldham,
Mm-hmm.
different change of environment.
Hey, that was dark times. Dark times. You know what it was? I'm a homebody and I'm really close with my mum and stuff. Going from literally seeing my family every day to being up in Oldham on my ones. Hey, I wasn't ready for it.
Manchester.
I wasn't in Manchester. I was literally in
Oh,
Oldham. I
Oldham.
stayed
Okay,
in
okay.
Oldham.
Right.
Bro, that place is like the 1900s, bro. Everything's
Yeah.
old. Literally, excuse
Oldham.
the pun, but it's literally I was like, this don't even look like, it looks like Coronation Street or something. But I was just there on my ones. Didn't know anyone, no one close by. So I just got into a loop of doing the same things. And like I said to you, I'm quite diverse with what I like to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was caged.
Yeah.
I literally would train, get some food, come back and literally put a film on or loads of films and just sit there, go out, get some food from flipping the West Indian shop around the corner, or drive to Manchester, come back, sleep, do the same thing. No joke, for about 6 months.
How was football going at that time?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So I was kind of playing bits here and there. And then quite early on, I was doing really well. And then they brought in Chef Kikuchi. Do you remember him?
I remember him. Oh
Remember
my
him?
God.
Yeah.
Striker,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Striker,
The
yeah. he was
top
at Newcastle.
target man, isn't
Yeah,
it?
massive.
Sheffield United,
yeah.
Sheffield United,
Yeah. So
yeah.
he came in and started he was playing, but he weren't scoring at the beginning. Then he started scoring and doing his thing. So then I moved out to the left wing. Things were fine. And then I just kind of was looking for all the distractions in the world because I was just bored. I was just bored. When I was like I said, when I was at football, I was playing football, but I was just bored.
Yeah.
So bored. Then I started going out. Literally, I'd go out all the time. Tuesday night, even day before game. And ultimately, that's what happened. I got caught going out the day before. I think we had Johnson Paint semi-final or something like that. And the manager pulled me in a room and was like, oh, you was out last night? I was like, no, I weren't. He's like, yeah, he was. One of the bouncers told me. I was like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, that broke down the relationship. And then that's when I went on a loan to Dagenham. And my partner at the time was pregnant with my son. So it kind of worked hand in hand.
And then from the loan, did you go back to Oldham or did you go straight to Oxford?
Nope. So never went back to Oldham. Ended the season at Dagenham. And then I was playing, but my foot kept swelling up after every game. End of the season came, booked myself at MRI, and they told me I broke a bone in my foot. So then between the end of season and December, I didn't have no club, no income, and my son was on the way. My son was born in November. And then late December, early January is when I signed at Oxford.
So you had no income?
No club.
No club.
In the space of a year, going from QPR to then no income. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to touch on that in the next episode. That must be
that threw me. Like it really threw me because I was like, how has the fall been so great and grand, if you know what I mean?
But then at Oxford, what was the football like there?
They were playing good at the time. So they were in League 2. They were doing okay. Like not as well as the club wanted to be doing, but they weren't in a relegation battle. They were kind of in and around playoffs. Chris Wilder was the manager. So I was there for maybe 12, 13 games.
Right, okay.
But I still just couldn't get the grasp on new environments. I wasn't very talkative because I'm like, I just knew QPR. QPR was like happy, knew everyone so I could banter and stuff. But here I was just like, nah, no one's really
engaging.
Like me and engaging. They're not welcoming. They're just like, oh, you're cool. And I just didn't feel a place. And maybe at the time, to be fair, they had a really good squad. And maybe it was an internal thing where I didn't feel good enough at the time.
Yeah.
I knew my capabilities, but I was like, oh, these players are actually decent here. It's not like Wimbledon or whatever. So I kind of probably started to eat away at myself a little bit and question myself. So
why was that though? Because you said you had that mentality of knowing that you was the best from young.
I think that moving around a lot or moving to 3 teams in the space of say a year and a half, but being at one for 5 years and it's the only one I'd ever known and I kind of was secure and safe there.
Yeah.
Having that lack of security probably knocked me because I'm like, nothing's going my way now.
Right.
And I never really had the guidance to kind of support me through that journey. I was having to learn on the job.
Yeah. Would you say did you keep yourself isolated as well at the same time? Or would you say you was quite outgoing to try and get interactions?
No, I definitely isolated myself.
Okay.
Because I couldn't see me in any of them.
Right.
So I couldn't allow myself to be vulnerable because I'm like, you don't get me. It's the same as I feel about like therapy and stuff. I'm like, unless you come from a counsellor state and you've got an absent father and blah, 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 then you don't get me. You can read all the books in the world, but I'm not going to be vulnerable because it feels like your rhetoric is just words from a book.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
You have to understand me or at least understand my background to some degree or have a relationship with it for me to be vulnerable because then it feels like it's reciprocated, the exchange. It's not me just going, my life's so hard and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like anyone in that changing room and the culture up north was the polar opposite to me. Like their banter, the things that they're doing in the changing room, I'm like, this ain't me. This ain't it.
Yeah.
So I'd be quiet and I'm seen as a bad egg. Right. I don't get involved in stuff. You don't want to go on team nights. I'm like, I don't drink.
Yeah.
I'm not on your kind of banter. I don't listen to your kind of music.
Yeah.
So I just can't get with it. And I'm not going to front and like play the game as they say.
It's like that when I was like in the office strip, like I don't drink alcohol, innit? So when everybody used to finish at the end, like when you work, you're working in, well, you wouldn't know, you guys are footballers. But when you work in the sales environment, it's like Friday, we go to the pub. And I'm just like, nah, and it just seems, they might have thought like, what's wrong with him? Like, liven up a little bit. But I'm like, I'm not going to. Yeah. It's like I have a thing. I don't buy rounds. Yeah. Like, I'm not, because all I'm going to buy is a Coke or an orange juice. Yeah. You lot are buying beers and stuff like that. I'm not buying a round, bruv. Like, so if you want to get me a Coke, that's perfectly up to you. But I'm not doing it. Like, do you know what I mean? So within that period, then, so who was the main person that was taking? Well, I say taking you, but like was supporting you with your football side of things? Was it because you said you was very close to your mum? Was it just
no one? If I'm honest, like it's not a sympathy one. Like literally no one. I was literally fathering myself, learning on the job. My mum was very and is very supportive. But you know, when you're a kid, your mum and dad tend to come to every game.
Yeah.
But then when it gets pro, I don't know why it just changes a little bit because they're like, oh, you can spread your wings now. Like you're a man.
Adult, yeah.
But I never had that guidance growing up. So I'm making hella mistakes and going Studio Valbon and buying a table to try and impress people, like, and having no one to kind of tell me anything.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had my dad around, he would have gone, son, pattern up, you need this for this and you need to save this for this. I didn't have any of that. So I was just like kind of just doing what I want.
What about older pros? Was there none that used to help you and guide you?
No. And I'm very big on that now.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm becoming the person that I would have liked to have around.
Yeah. You learn so
I had
much.
pros that kind of were good to me and did little gestures that I'll always be grateful for. And in hindsight, it like those things have really stuck with me. Like I remember my first ever tattoo, Rowan Vine paid for.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I was like, oh, I want to get a tattoo. And he was like, oh, come with me. It was in Tottenham Court Road. And I had the tattoo and I went to pay. He was like, I got you. Boom. And then full circle moment, about 12, 13 years later, I see him on Made You Think talking about Neil Warnock and what he went through at QPR when he broke his leg and they were trying to get him out. And people were like coming for him saying, oh, another footballer waffling. And I was commenting, trying to defend him, going, I was there. It's the truth. This is the truth. It's true. Then he shouted out to me and then 6 months later he was on my retreat. Because he went through it. He won't mind me saying because he's on a completely amazing journey now, but he had a gambling addiction, alcohol addiction, and other addictions. So like it was kind of like a full circle moment. But when he said he wanted to book on, he was like, let me know how much. I was like, it's free. And he's like, why? And I was like, you paid for my tattoo. And he was like, did I? He didn't remember. He didn't remember.
Love that.
That's
And
top.
then
That's
I had
top.
another example where I crashed my car, my little Corsa, my first car. And I remember I was sat in the change room with Elliot Cox and Antonio was just talking, waiting to go out training. Peter Ramage knocked on the door and was like, Josh, come here, because I was his boot boy. I was his boot boy, Rowan Vine and Fitz Hall.
Yeah.
And he come out and he gave me a check. And he was like, that's for you. And just walked off. It's £1,000.
That's top. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He's
But
like,
you see
he's like, go and get your car fixed.
But you see, even that, I love that stuff.
I
man.
love
I'm
it.
not
I love
gonna lie, because
yeah.
even though you said that you don't have people around, you did have people around
Yeah.
you. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Because what he done for you, Rowan Vine, you remember that to that
Yeah.
day to
Yeah.
even
Like
bless him.
those things
Do you know what I'm
were
saying?
so prominent,
Like,
in my reality, and they still are now. That's why, like, if they ever messaged me for anything, I wouldn't even think.
Yeah.
Like Peter Ramage messaged me now and said, "I need someone. Will you drive to Newcastle? I'll get in the car now."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling
Because
you.
at the time, they were just doing a kind gesture and they had the ability to, but they didn't realize how in need I was.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why even me now, my mindset on, I just see like this is why I mentor. Because I was blessed enough to have a load of pros that helped
Yeah.
me. Like I had loads of people that helped me at when I was at Charlton. Loads of people helped me, and I want to reciprocate that.
100%.
So when I see younger boys in need, or even not younger boys, because there's grown men married that will ask for my advice,
100%.
and I'm saying, nah, I've got so much to help because I got helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Not only at football, I had my family, I had my dad, I had my cousins, I had friends around me, and I can't take seeing that there's so much people out there that actually need help or that
You know,
do you know what I'm saying?
You know the mad thing for me. Let me word this correctly. For them, they were just doing it because they wanted to, and they cared about me enough to do it. But they don't realize that how much it impacted me.
Of
Yeah.
course.
If you get what I mean, like to the
Yeah.
fact that I still remember it and think about all those things today, to the point that I try and reciprocate the action 15 years down the line.
Yeah.
It's like another example, and this is why I probably need to shout out, like message them and just make sure they
of course, of
understand.
course.
Like
Yeah.
I said it to Ramage and I said it to all of them at the time. I said it to Viney, but like it really has like
Helped,
ingrained
100%,
like in me. I remember the first time I ever went out with the first team. It's the only time that I've ever really drunk. Like they made me drink because it's my birthday, and they were like, "You can come with us, but boom, we're gonna give you half a thing of vodka." I never drunk, bro. Mash up. It's funky Buddha.
Yeah.
And I remember Stephen Reed. the
Yeah.
player,
I remember Steve Reed.
I drove up to London, never been to Mayfair in my life. In my little course, I parked down a back street, got changed in my car. Yeah, because I was like, do I wear my clothes here? Because I ain't got a hotel room. Blah blah blah. So I get changed in the back of my whip.
Yeah.
And they were meeting in the in the bar area of the Mayfair Hotel, and Stephen Reed was at the reception. He was on loan at QPR, and he was like, what you doing with all your stuff? And are you driving home after? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to drive home after. He's like, no. Can you get him a room, please? Bro, he paid for my room, bro. He probably won't even remember that. Bro, on my life. It's childish, but man got in the room, dashed my back. I was jumping on the bed, bro. I was like, oh my God, I'm in Mayfair Hotel.
I'm going to be honest with you, but do you know that could have saved so much?
Bro. Because
listen, he was gonna drive home.
Yeah.
But like, do you know what I'm saying? It didn't just save. That could have saved any. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he saved. Like, even that gesture there. I'm so happy that's what you need, though.
Yeah, you need.
Even like he's influenced a man to drink, but he's still looking after you.
Yeah.
No,
because
he's
go on.
What I was gonna say, he's influencing you to have a good time, but not at the demise of you. Like, not to kind of get you to a point where it's like, you know what. There could be detriment,
and even then they were still kind of looking after me. Like, it wasn't even him that made me drink. To be fair, it was Hogan and Wayne Routledge. But yeah, like when I look back, that group of people did a lot for me in terms of character building, because they kind of gave me tough love, because I was like the little chirpy one that you would see on a council estate to the elders. They kind of would show me tough love. So like, Viney would be very strict on me about how I cleaned his boots or if I got them wet, but it'd never kind of be disrespectful. It'd just be kind of authoritative. So I kind of knew the parameters for that relationship. Then Mikel and Fitz kind of were like big brothers. Where like I remember one time they were like, if you can do 10 full pull-ups on the widest, we'll give you £100 each. So they were kind of looking after me, but like
trying to make you
they were trying to like nothing was a given. So yeah, that group of people and that time at QPR basically was like a 5-year father.
Yeah. And I think, you know what, just touching on the last bit, because we're going into the second half, but like, I feel like for me, what it just shows you is that some people confuse what authority looks like, because you can have authority and show authority, but you don't need to be disrespectful. Because if you can be respectful and show authority, as you said you may have had an issue with authority previously, but shout out Rowan Vine, he was authoritative, but he weren't disrespectful. So it made you want to make sure, you know what, I want to make sure these are clean for you 100%. Because of the respect that we have. Do you know what I mean? Facts. So yes, we finished the first half. Now, we're going to do things a bit different with this episode.
I was going to say so.
Because we've got, I've split it specifically because we've got this club and we've spoken off air and blah, blah, blah. Because I think the next couple of clubs can really go into the mental health section. So we're going to take a 5-minute break and then we'll be coming back into the second half of it.
If you've listened to the first half and was triggered by anything, contact the numbers on the screen, because we want to help you and we want you to get the help that you need.
Yes, people, we are back with the second half of the Set Piece podcast. Josh, listen. I'm so excited. I nearly forgot what I was supposed to ask you. Right, so we always ask our guests in the second half, right? The first question is, what does mental health and well-being mean to you?
In terms of my definition of it, or how do I value it?
Let's do both. I like that.
How do I value it? I don't think anything comes above it, because essentially our whole experience is a cerebral one, if you want to call it that. Everything is in your mind. You have these little conversations with yourself. You have these doubts, but you also have the praise there. So you guys would obviously, with your background, say, it's God talking to me. Whatever it is, there's a conversation that's being had. And we all can agree on that. So this is all a mind game. It's all a mind game. That's why, nothing ranks above it. How would I define it? I would define it as a duality of terribly amazing at all times. That's literally mental health, because nothing's always one way and nothing's always the other way.
Right.
So being here is amazing and speaking to you guys is amazing, but I don't know, I'm injured at the minute. It's duality. It's terribly amazing at all times. And it's trying to tap in and hold on to the positive in everything. That's what I'd say.
Do you know why that's mad? Because you know what? As you just said that, it is that. Like you can really be in a good space,
And a
but
bad one.
some things have actually
It's like they say,
happening.
Of course.
two
Yeah.
things could be true at the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
but be
yeah.
polar opposite.
Yeah.
I
And it's
agree.
like, and it's like I said to somebody only the other week when we were just talking, they were just talking about like saving souls and stuff like that, and they said like, why did you make it? And I said to them like, it came at it was the best things were happening to me in the worst time of my life.
100%.
And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, the best things were happening in and around what Saving Souls was doing, but it was the worst time in my life that I've ever experienced.
That's because they're the same thing, or they're on the same spectrum, just different ends of the pole.
Yeah. It's mad. Yeah, that's big. Let's go into it, because for somebody that said that moving up north was different, right? And obviously being away from your mum and stuff like that. Correct me if I'm right at the time. So your partner was pregnant at the time, but back
Just had my son. So
son.
she had my son in the November, and I left Oxford at the end of the season in the May.
So now you're in Slovenia.
Yeah.
How and why?
How? At the end of the season, I remember a conversation with Chris Wilder, and he said, "I think you're an unbelievable player." He could have been lying, but next season we want an all-experience squad.
Right.
And I was like, "That is exactly what we just spoke about. Terribly amazing. So you're bigging me up, but you're also tearing me down." So I remember calling my agent straight away and saying, "I need to get out of here." And I'd never had that thought before. And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "There's too much politics in this country, and I've experienced all of it." I said, "I'm tired of the facade of trying to live up to the title of a footballer. Because I play football, everyone thinks I earn £1 million. I'm supposed to have a flashy car, so then I'm trying to bust my balls to get a flashy car.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go out and buy a table when I ain't really got the bread for that. And it was just all a facade, and I was trying to play keep up, and I couldn't keep up. And then when my partner at the time gave birth to my son, I was like, for the first time, I was like, oh, it's not about me anymore. I can't be selfish. Like, I can't wake up when I want, can't do what I want. It's literally about someone else.
Yeah.
So when I said I needed to get out there, it was more so because of my son, like to protect him. And then my agent was like, where do you want to go? I was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. And at the time, the owner of the agency was Serbian. And then my agent, who's from Gillingham, funnily enough, was like, Slovenia. I was like, that sounds cold. I'm not on anywhere cold. He was like, no, it's not cold. He was like, it's warm. He said, the contract's on the table. You can go and train for 2 weeks. If you like it, sign it. If you don't, we'll pivot and figure out. Went there, bro. It was like 35 degrees. I didn't realize
Slovenia.
Yeah, that's even you're having the same reaction I had, because when you think of that place, you think of Slovakia.
Yeah.
You think of snow. I don't know why. You just automatically think of like
yeah.
Scandinavian type people.
Yeah, so do I.
Bro, it's literally 2 hours away from Italy. In the other directions, Austria, Germany, Switzerland. It's like in the middle of kind of all of them. Went there, I was like, this place is beautiful. Like, it's like that is the most beautiful place I've been. That isn't like a beach, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You won't see rubbish on the floor. They're very respectful of their country. You won't see a Coke can, a piece of gum, nothing. The country is clean. It's like someone's drawn it. Mountains with snow in the background, but then beautiful sun. And I went there, and where our training facility was, there was basically like a community pool on the back. So I'd train, and then I'd go and chill at the pool with my partner at the time and my son. I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. So then literally signed there.
And how long were you there for?
I was there 18 months, I think. It started off well because all the people there could speak English. Like, they learn English and they speak like very fluent English, not bits and bobs. I was like, this is weird. And I used to ask them, like, how do you speak such good English? They're like, we learn it from school, like from early, and they're just perfect English.
Yeah.
The manager at the time was a Serbian guy, couldn't speak English,
Wow.
but his assistant spoke 5 languages. So he basically acted as a translator. Very quickly, like I said, I have a thing with authority. I don't dislike authority, but I dislike when people abuse authority. So he had us doing mad stuff. People like might think I'm making up. This is God's honest truth. We'd come in on the day of a game and do runs in the morning, box to boxes and stuff, and drills.
That's mad. Why though? What's the reason
I
behind
don't
it?
know, just like that old school, like kind of Soviet, kind of similar how you see the boxers, like it's very militant. We used to do drills where me and the other striker or the front three would have our hands tied together, bringing ropes. We'd be tied together, and then the midfield four would be tied together, and the back four would be tied together, or whatever it is. And he'd shuffle a ball with the staff, and we'd have to move, but it was supposed to keep the distances. But we'd do that for like 45 minutes, just moving left to right. I was like, this ain't normal. Like, this is not normal. So like quickly, I just took a disliking to him. And I remember in one training session, we had a fallout. I can't remember what it was about. He wanted me to do something. I was like, that's not right. Like, that doesn't make sense what you're telling me to do. And then he translated to the translator, tell him to do what I ask or tell him to go in. And he said, the coach has said, like, you just have to say yes or you don't train. Took on my bib and walked in.
Right.
And I was out the squad for like 4 weeks, and then he got sacked, and then the assistant took over. And the first thing the assistant did, once again, it's that kind of human inherent thing that we have, where he pulled me in. He was like, I know this ain't easy for you. You come to a new country at the age of 21 with your missus and a six-month-old baby. He said, I'm not expecting anything of you, but if you need anything of me, then I'm here. Just do your thing, play your football, and like you'll be just fine.
Let me say something before you carry on. Do you see the difference of good coaches and bad coaches?
Yeah, definitely.
And let me tell you another thing. Imagine he was underneath this coach, so you don't even know what he was saying to the coach.
Yeah.
And the coach might not have been listening to him.
Yeah.
But you see, when the coach left and he was able to be the guy,
Yeah.
that just shows sometimes when you're in an environment and you're not leading, you don't necessarily have to agree with what
and follow
someone is saying. Do you know what I mean? But you might not be able to change anything until your time comes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that stuck out to me. So
Can I just ask, not what to ask, but basically for our viewers that may not know, why is doing runs the day before a game mad?
No, the day of the game.
Of the game.
Of the game.
Okay.
So we'd come say game.
Right.
So
you're getting tired.
In those countries, you tend to train the same time as your games are, and a lot of the games in that part of the world, even like your Germanys and your Switzerlands, are like 5:36, 6:30. Maybe it's for the TV and stuff, but they kind of stagnate the game schedule. So Liverpool started to do it where they train at 3:00. A lot of managers have now adopted that philosophy where, because if we, it's like Westy, if we have a 12:30 kickoff, it throws off your whole routine and you feel a bit tired, or you feel like I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Or if it's a 7:00 kickoff, you're like a bit drained because you're like, I've had the whole day and I'm a bit slumped, and then you're having to have your caffeine and da-da-da. So they would always allow your body to
Adjust
feel
to
how it would feel at that time of the day.
Yeah, a lot of teams do that.
Yeah.
So that stuff like that is really like 12:30 kickoffs, and those are real.
Like as you get older, it becomes a little bit less relevant maybe, because you kind of just know your strengths and weaknesses. But you do feel different from time to time.
Wow.
It's like I see on a podcast someone was having a debate about the Arsenal-Bournemouth game and saying that Arsenal's game, I think yesterday, was one of very few that have had at 12:30, and that's why they were going to lose. But Bournemouth had loads. Like the players have got used to that feeling, if you get what I mean.
I think it is. There's a thing there. There's something to be spoke about.
100%.
That. Me personally, I prefer 3 p.m. kickoffs. But like, because the Tuesday 7 p.m. kickoff, you got to drag that day out and then prepare for the day.
And you can't do too much. You can't do too little.
Yeah.
You have to you can't just sit down, because otherwise your body will stiffen up a bit.
But remember 3 p.m.'s on a weekend, so my kids ain't at school, or I don't have to. They can. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
On a Tuesday, 7 p.m. I've got to pick them up from school.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I've got to take them to school. I've got to pick them up from school. I've got my whole routine's not the same as it is on a Saturday.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
So just briefly then, right? So if, for example, like you guys have a 7 p.m. kickoff, right? What's your routine throughout that day? Because you just said something about not getting stiff and stuff like that. So what's your kind of routine during the day?
The schedule that knocks me most, and we've got the last game of the season, is 12:30 because I fast every day.
Right. Okay.
So I don't break my fast until 12:1. Whereas game day, if it's at 12:30, I'll have to break it at 8:30. and I haven't eaten at that time for like 10 years.
Oh, so when do you stop eating? The day
8
before?
p.m.
Okay, so you start from 8 till 1, 8 till
Yeah.
12, or wait, okay.
Yeah.
8.
So it froze, like, if I eat that early now, I feel sick because my body's just like, this ain't our routine. It's not how we do things.
Yeah.
So that one always throws me off. So I kind of, instead of eating, I'll have like a smoothie
Right, okay.
because it's like in liquid form and it doesn't feel as dense and I don't feel as heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you? Do you have a routine in terms of like 3 o'clock or?
Yeah, I normally eat 3.5 hours before the game. So if I got 3 p.m. kickoff, if any kickoff, I eat 3.5 hours before the game. I don't know why. I think that's just what they've taught us.
Yeah. So what I do is I heavy carb load the day before. Like really, I eat a lot, probably more. I eat more on a Friday than I do the other days of the week. Yeah. Then Saturday I'm very light because that food's still in my body anyway.
Yeah.
I think people don't really get like the routines.
You can't
and
eat too
things
close to the game either
Yeah.
because you'll feel sick when you play. You don't want to feel too full because you got to run around. You have to be hydrated. You got to drink loads of water. That's the most important thing I'd say on a match day.
100%.
Drinking, and if not water, I take electrolytes as well.
Yeah.
So I have electrolyte tablets to put in my system. Just for they say it stop cramp, but it helps me. That's my and halftime I have a banana.
Yeah. And what a lot of people do, and some people will go, it's all in your head. No, like you can get away with it so long, but your body will start to like accumulate issues because of these things. Do you know what I mean? So some people might not drink all morning, then they're drinking electrolytes half an hour before the game. It's not going to really have any impact.
It's not enough.
You need to be starting from early.
And then
like as soon as you wake up,
in,
electrolytes, boom. Like because half an hour before, one, you're probably going to down it, so then you're just going to urinate it all out. It's going to be waste. So yeah, once you start to I have a good relationship with my body. Like I listen to my body very well. So for me, like that's just how my thing works based on my own subjective experience.
Right. So when the manager left and you've got the new gentleman in, right? So you started playing again?
Yeah, straight away.
Okay. So what was the reason why you left there?
I got bought.
Okay.
I literally got put straight back in the team. Started scoring loads of goals, like loads. I had loads of options to go, but during this, so that manager left after 6 months. I was there for another year, but when the manager left, I signed there in May. Me and my partner broke up in November.
Right.
So my son was 1. She was still in Slovenia with me, but we'd basically broken up. And then we was going to fly back to have a winter break there, December until mid-January.
Okay.
So we flew back together and we was done. So then I was having to process that I automatically thought that I'd become my dad because my dad wasn't around. And I'm like, although my son knows me, I'm not around. I always had the dream of I'm going to be there every day. That's what we all aspire to do. Like I'm going to be with my kid every day, love on them, And I was like, I failed. I remember just coming back on my own in January. And I remember I opened the door to my apartment and my son's first birthday balloon was there. I just broke down in tears. I couldn't remember the last time I cried. I was just crying. I was like, I've messed it up. Like I'm literally like my dad. He wasn't around. I'm not around. My son's in a different country. And I just literally had a breakdown. I remember just calling my mum, was going through it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give myself 6 months. And I'm going to have to go back because I can't like not see him.
Yeah.
And then 6-7 months later, I went to Red Star, but Red Star wasn't my first option.
That's what I was going to say because
It weren't my first choice. So I remember I was in a changing room and me and the sport director didn't have the best relationship. It was like kind of a love-hate relationship. I was doing well, so he loved me, but he just I just found him rude. I got called up to the office and I was like, I'm in trouble for something. And there was a Chinese guy sat in the room and the director's name was Mateo, and he was like, this is whatever his name is. He's from this club. They came and watched a couple of games. They want you to sign there. And my first thing was, I can't, my son. I was like, it's too far. I can't not see him. And he was like, we'll put 4 first-class tickets, return flights for your ex-partner and your son to come out. And then anything additional you could pay for yourself. And I was like, oh. And then they were like, our first offer is 400 grand net. I was like, oh my, like in my head, like, I didn't show any reaction. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have to speak to his mom, blah, blah, blah. I remember as soon as I closed that door, I ran downstairs and called my agent. I was like, oh my God, like, listen to this. So he was buzzing. I remember the next person I messaged straight away was his mum. Go, I've been offered an amazing deal to go to China. They've said they'll pay for you and Cairo to come out. And then if you want to take 2 friends with you and have a holiday just so I can see Cairo, I'll pay for them.
Wow.
Just got no full stop.
Wow.
Just no other conversation.
Oh,
I
just
tried,
a no.
just no. And then tried a little bit more conversation, weren't having it, messaged her dad. He was like, it's not my decision, it's hers, blah, blah, blah. And then didn't go there. Then I had the option of going Sturm Graz in Switzerland, and then Grasshoppers, I don't even know which country they're in, and then Red Star. And then my agent was like, Red Star's the biggest club by a country mile. And I was like, I've never heard of them. And he was like, speak to your granddad. Because when he was probably in his age that you are now, they were winning Champions League.
Yeah, Red Star Belgrade.
Asked him, he was like, that club's massive. So Red Star was, Slovenia's an hour and 45 flight, Red Star's an hour and 15. So I was like, I could still catch a flight on my off day, go home.
Yeah.
So went there. Literally, they bought me from Domžale. Then as soon as I basically signed there, I had to start court proceedings to try and see my son. So I was spending most of my salary on that.
How did you cope with that in terms of football? You've gone back to Slovenia without your son, and I'm assuming obviously you're still dealing with like the breakup and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, cool. I'm trying to find a contract because I know I need to support my son as well.
Yep.
This opportunity comes in China. You're thinking everything's perfect now because it's going to be able to send him out and you can do whatever you want. So then you've got a rejection here.
Yeah.
So how was you dealing with that? Like, because because every day you're still getting on without seeing your son.
Yeah. For me, it was a case of my contract in Domžale went a crazy one. It just like allowed me to get by, but I went there purely for opportunity because of the surrounding countries around it.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Red Star, it was more so a case of, okay, I'm not going to have to chase my own tail with these bills, with these court things. It was like, I'm going to be fine to get by. They give you an apartment, all that stuff, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to be able to go to court, not realizing at the time how much court is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I could have been one of those dads where I was like, you know what, I'm happy with seeing him every 3 months when I fly back, or every 2 weeks I could fly back for a day. But I was like, that's not enough. And that's probably a trauma response.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't be the same as him because I'm not. So yeah, basically everything was fine at first. Everything was amazing actually. Like the country, like I loved it. 95% of the country is Red Star, 4% is Partizan, and 1% is the other teams. I didn't realize how big it was, even though my agent and my granddad had said it to me. I didn't realize how big it was until I got there, because I'm thinking, well, a year and a half ago I was at Oxford.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to one of the biggest clubs in history.
Yeah.
And when I just remember getting out the airport and I was talking to my agent, we was talking like facing each other. And as soon as like the exit doors opened, there was like 50 paparazzi, limo waiting. I was laughing. I was going in limo, I was busting up. I was like, hey, I'm Josh Barker from Slough. Hey.
But you're the first English player to...
And only.
Oh, only? Wow.
First and only.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
First player to ever play in Slovenia, English player, and first and only English player to ever play for Red Star Belgrade.
That's mad.
Yeah,
So you hold that. You hold that.
Mm.
So, how was you getting on football wise while, as you were saying, like still trying to pay for court proceedings and like I'm assuming it was very expensive in your wages. Was it covering it? Was it?
Yeah.
not?
So like, no, court was mad expensive. Like I'm thinking, I'm like googling stuff and I'm like, oh, it'd be this much and that's cool. Da, da, da. But no, literally, it was zapping everything. Not everything, but it was zapping a lot of my wages because like I'm getting. Every email's like £400. I'm like, huh? £400 for an email? But they're sending me bare emails and I've got to respond to them. I'm like, don't send me them unless it's all in one.
Yeah.
But I'm having to like I said, I'm still a kid at this point. I'm 23, 24.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is too much for me. So my mum was helping me a lot. Like, and then my initial thing when I was in Slovenia, just before I went to Red Star, was I had my son 5 nights, 6 days per month. So my mum was using all her holiday to fly him out.
Okay.
And then when I went to Red Star, I went back to court because I was closer, and then up to 10 days in a block. So I was kind of, the football was masking it a little bit, but I didn't make it any easier because I was like, nah, I'm having 20 days without him, and I just wasn't using it because I've been there the whole first year of his life. I was getting on with it because I was enjoying the football, I was enjoying the team, but I never knew what pressure was, and I've never experienced pressure like it since until I went to Red Star.
Why is that?
The demand of the club. You know how people speak about Real Madrid?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same. I'm not saying obviously they're not Real Madrid,
Yeah.
but the pressure is the same. You are expected to win every game without fail. You are expected to win the league every year without fail. And if the fans don't like it, one day your car could get smashed up. The fans will rock up to the stadium. They can just go into the manager's change room like it's nothing and say, look, this needs to happen. You need to leave. Like, that's how like real gangster it is.
Did you experience anything specifically to you that was
Loads. Like, I remember I didn't score for like my first two games, and I've just moved to this country. This is why I don't have Facebook to this day. I was getting thousands of messages. Thousands. You best score next game. Red Star is the best club in the world. You need to score. We need to win, because Red Star wasn't winning at the time. They were in like, I think 50 mil of debt. People had been taking transfer fees and disappearing and all this stuff. Like, so there's just loads of like stuff going on. They weren't even allowed to play in Europe at the time. I think they were banned.
Wow.
And yeah, I was getting tons and tons of messages. I was like, 2 games, like.
That's
But this is the level of pressure. Like, this club is huge. Like, historically, it's huge. Then my first home game, I scored 2. But even that was dramatic. So my first one, there's a player that's gone back there now. His name's Alexander Katai, one of the best players I played with. He's running through on goal at the goalkeeper, and I've peeled off, and I'm like wanting him to like roll it to me so I could tap it in. He's done a step over with his right foot and taken it around with his left, and I'm thinking he's passed it to me. I've tapped it in, and he's raging. He's like vex. I've ran off celebrating because I've scored. The manager at halftime is on my case. He's like, "That's not your goal." I'm like, "Well, it is." And he's like, "But when they ask you, that's not your goal. You don't tell them that you took it. You said you took this goal from him." I'm like, "Bro, we're winning. Like, why is it that deep?" So then I scored another one. And then after, they didn't care about my goals. They cared about the fact that I'd done that.
Wow.
That's all the interview was about.
That's crazy.
And I was like, I said in the interview, I remember, I might be able to find it. If you lot want to give him the goal, then it's his goal. It wasn't anything personal, and I've apologized, but I thought he was passing me the ball. But on paper, it would go down as my goal. Like, that's it. And the manager was like slating me. I was like, cool, whatever. And then very, very quickly, I remember about 2 weeks later, my nan passed away. I found out on the way to training. I want to go home to see my mum, like Monday to Wednesday. They're like, nah, we've got Derby coming up next week. You can't go home. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, my nan has passed away. And he's like, no. I remember his exact words. I wonder where he is now, but his name was, I can't remember, something Terzic. And he was like, he literally looked me bare in the face and was in the office, and he was like, she was old. She was going to die.
No.
I went, oh my God. Like, I actually said at the time, I was like, I'm going to leave this room before I do something that I regret, because what you just said is nuts.
That's crazy.
He went to me, if Frank Lampard's nan passed away, do you think he'd miss the derby against Arsenal? And I was like, yeah.
Yes.
And no one
Of
could tell
course
him
he
nothing.
would. Yeah. Of course he
I
would.
was like, I'm telling you, I'm going home. I don't care what you say. So then I remember they must have spoke to my agent, and my agent was like, look, can you hold out to the weekend? They said they'll pay for your flight to go home, and then you come back. And I remember I stayed till the weekend. The game came on Saturday. They dropped me, but I played every game and every minute up until then. So in my head, my righteous head, I've gone, you could have let me go.
Yeah, you could have let me
1
know.
minute.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I'm in my like Vex bag.
Yeah.
But I go home, and I got a message from who is it? Luka Jovic, I think it was. And he was like, "Oh, Josh, where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm at home. Nan passed away, blah, blah." And then he sent me like a picture of the newspaper article saying, "Parker's gone missing." Listen, my DMs on Facebook, hey,
Serious.
you black monkey, and I was with my new partner this time. This is like after 6 months of being there. If we see your partner we're gonna beat her up, we're gonna kick her in the tummy, like bare stuff. And I'm responding like I'm on smoke. I'm like going through messages, typing. And then they were literally just like, you don't do this to our club, we'll kill you if we see you. And I'm like, oh my God,
So
it's too nuts.
So mentally, you're dealing with court.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, your finances are
Yeah.
extremely low because of this.
Yeah.
The pressure,
Mm-hmm.
the fans,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that a relationship that probably broke down because of the fact that the gentleman has said this about your nan,
Yeah.
and you're all dealing with this in a country that is not yours. Like,
Yeah. Literally, like all at the same time. All at the same time. And I was like, I didn't have no one to go to.
wow.
Like no one to speak to.
Yeah.
My mum didn't really get it. Like she was just more worried about me. She was like, are you okay? Do you need anything? I'll fly out and see you. But it's not the same as like a dad or a godfather or uncle that's like, yo,
Yeah.
So I was just like kind of trying to juggle it, but I'm quite resilient and stubborn. So I remember after that I came back and I asked them, I went into the office and I was like, are you not going to say anything to tell like them the truth?
Yeah.
And they were like, don't worry, it'll blow over. But what I now know is they basically control the media. They can put whatever they want. That's how they also sell players, because they'll go, Liverpool have come to watch Bob. But then Liverpool are going, have we? Or maybe it's worth us going to look at him. So they'll create a link. But they can also like be destructive with it. So then they said, you're not going to play anymore. We're not playing you.
Right.
Like you left. We're not playing you. I played the derby. It's one of the most famous derbies that's happened because the Red Star fans started ripping up their own stadium. It made it onto BBC News and Sky and everything. They basically started fighting with the police.
Did you lose?
No, we drew 0-0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we drew 0-0. But obviously was expected to win. It was at Red Star's stadium. We had to come off the pitch 3 times because of the flares and because of the fights. So we came up, we do the warm up by the players' change rooms, but then Red Star's famous tunnel is like 200 meters long. You basically go under the stadium and walk up through the stairs. It's very famous, and then they have police on both sides of the tunnel all the way down, and you can hear the fans jumping on top. So we came out, the fight started, had to come off and go and do a warm up again. Came on, they put flares on, we had to go off again. Like, so it was just mad. And then we had the fallout. They said, you're not going to play. And then I went on loan to Aberdeen. I remember Derek McGuinness called me. I was in a hotel, and he was like, I tried to get you when you was at QPR. We're pushing Celtic for the title every year, but we miss someone that like has got a bit of pace and a bit of like know-how. So he was like, I know you're going through a rough time right now. Like come here. So I went on loan to Aberdeen.
How long was that for, the loan?
6 months.
6 months. Good escape?
Good escape. More politics. Like, just reminded me of the politics that it's not purely about ability. Like, it's who you know, what you know.
Yeah.
Played like 2 or 3 games, did really well. Came on against Celtic. We was down to 10 men. And I came on and did really, really well. Then at the time, Adam Rooney. Do you remember Adam Rooney? Ginger striker.
Is that Figgy's...
No.
That's the one from Oldham used to be.
So
yeah.
he was a striker and he'd been like Aberdeen's top scorer for like 2 years, but I think he was also the top scorer in the league as well. He was doing really well, and obviously he didn't take too well to it. So obviously now I know as an older pro, he's probably gone and knocked on the door and said like, "What's the deal? Like, why am I not starting?" Because I started 1 game, like I came on 2 or 3 games and started the next one, and he's probably gone and had a knock and said like, "I'm the top scorer." Didn't start game again.
Wow.
And I remember I said to McGuinness as I was about to leave, like, you like kind of did me dirty. And he was like, I probably should have handled this a lot better than I did. And I should have played you a lot more than I did.
Right.
And I apologize for that, but it's just football. I was like, I get it.
So was there ever a period in that whole couple years that you've gone through that where you thought, this is just long?
I just thought it was mad. Like, even now when I look back on my career, people have had crazy careers, but mine's nuts. Like, mine's really, really like, could be a whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it could really, really be a whole film. Because then when I came back, I remember that I was due to finish my loan on the first week of Jan. And Red Star told me a specific date to be back. So they paid for my flight. I've got back and they said, oh, you got to be at training for 10 a.m. So I'm like, cool. But I know that the team always goes away. So I'm like, oh, we're probably going to go away, or I'm going to have a conversation about what's the situation with me. I go back, go to training, no one's there. There's one coach, one under 14s coach. I'm doing basically one-to-ones with him. They've gone to Slovenia the morning that they flew me back and left me there. So I was with him for 2 weeks.
So you had to go. You had to leave.
Like, no, I didn't. I stayed, bro. I stayed. I'm messaging my agent. He's like, listen, we'll figure this out. Because I did, Aberdeen had a clause to buy me. They could buy me if they wanted, but they didn't because I didn't play. So I was there on my own training for 2 weeks. They came back. They were like, what are we going to do? So they had a couple of teams interested because when I first went there, we played pre-season in Antalya, where all the kind of European clubs go, like your Turkish teams and we played Rubin Kazan the first game, and I ripped it up. And they inquired about me then and there, but they were like, we just signed him. No. So they were trying to push me to go there, but I was like, that's far. I'm not going. And then they basically, from that point, when they came back from Slovenia 2 weeks later, made me train on my own. And that was like for like 3 months, and they stopped paying me at the same time.
And you still trying to pay for court?
Yeah. So what happened was, in the end, my mum ended up selling her house and downgrading and loaning me the money.
Wow.
Yeah, that's craziness.
Yeah. So she was paying for my court, and then obviously I was like,
wait, is there any producers out there where we can get the Josh Parker movie?
Someone's already written it.
What?
Yeah. So,
what?
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah.
And I was only bettering, you know.
No, seriously. So when I went to Charlton, someone got wind of my story, but the Sun had already done a double-page spread, middle spread of my story at Red Star.
Oh my!
And then the guy who did it basically was like, I was at Charlton, and we was jumping forward, but we'll jump back. He was basically like, tell me more about your story, like your life, like, and your football stories. He was like, no, this is too nuts. So then he basically started writing a whole script. He's written the whole script.
Oh my! And I was only joking, you know. I was thinking, what? Nah, that is mad.
Yeah.
Boy.
But yeah, anyway, going back to Red Star, they stopped paying me. Then I couldn't afford to stay in my apartment, so I moved into the club hotel. But the club hotel ain't like a hotel.
Yeah.
It's basically like dorms, like, you know, where the toilet is next to the bed.
Yeah.
No Wi-Fi, no TVs, no nothing. It's basically where they used to go to sleep in between training
to go train again. Yeah. So it's like a studio kind of.
So I'm the only player in there.
Yeah.
Like I said, living out my suitcase, no bread. So my mum's lending me bread to live, but also bread to pay for court. So then, so I'm going through that. And when I look back at like images now, I look like a different person. You wouldn't recognize me.
Were you stressed?
What?
Just
I didn't know. Like in my head, I'm just like, they're not beating me.
Oh, okay.
But when I look back at pictures, I was like, that don't even look like me, bro. That like gone, eyes sunken, like just nuts. Like I just look nuts. So then they were trying to force me out, and I was like, nah, I'm not ongoing. Then a new manager came in, and I wasn't allowed to train, but I basically went to him and said, can I train? And he was like, I don't get to make that decision, but I've seen like bits of you, and I'd like you to train.
Yeah.
So then in the end, we came to some agreement. I can't remember what it was, but they were like, oh, we'll pay you your money in August. It's like January. So I'm like, I just want to play. So they're like, you can start training again. So then start training and doing well. And the manager's like, I want to play you, but they said, you're not allowed to play, you're only allowed to train. So I'm like, what's the point of me even training? But it's funny because part of when we ended up going to court, I went to see him one day. It's funny because he was getting a massage. He always got like an hour massage every day, this coach. I put my phone in my boot and recorded it. And I was like, oh, coach, can I speak to you? I was like, I really want to play. Like, I think I can help the team, but why can't I? And he was like, the people above me have said, by no means are you allowed to play football. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, cool. He said, I'll try and speak to them, but that's all I can say. Boom. So then I finally get to play the next season, like June. But remember, I haven't been paid all this time. And we play a Champions League qualifier against Kairat, which is a team in Kazakhstan. And then Kairat inquire about me to go on loan. And then they also say, but we will sign you on a 2-year contract. And I was like, oh, it's like 7 hours away. Like, it's far. And then the director basically pulled me in and was like, you have to take this contract. He was like, otherwise I'll make your life very difficult here. People go missing. I've recorded all this, by the way. And he was like, people go missing in this country. I was like, I'm trying to back it and like be hype. And I'm like, bro, I got an English passport there. You can't do me nothing. Like this passport holds weight. Like, but in my legs are shaking. My legs are shaking. You know when you get told off by your teacher, you're like, oh, they're shaking. So then he's like, you'd be stupid to turn down this money. You could do so much for your son. I was like, but I might not see him if I go that far. And he was like, what's 2 years? He was like, you can give him everything in the world after that 2 years. I was like, yeah, but I might make that money in my lifetime. I might not, but I can't make up for the lost time.
Yeah.
And he was like just raging. He was just trying to get me to go everywhere. Like there was like 2 or 3 teams. It's funny because I said no, and I'm obviously not putting myself in the same bracket.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks later, they signed Arshavin.
Wow.
Yeah, to play in the same position I was going to play in. And then in the end, Steve Brown called me and was like, Josh, you need to leave. He was like, I've seen you. You don't look normal, bro. I was like, I'm not leaving. I didn't give myself this contract. They gave me it, so they're going to honor it. They're trying to get me to just cut. And I'm like, if I come back, I come back to nothing. Like my son, the court bills, I'm not leaving. So then I get put in contact. I can't remember who it was. It might have been by the PFA. They said, we have no jurisdiction there because Serbia is not part of the European Union, even though it's in Europe. We have no power. Any other country, we could do a madness. So then they put me in contact with the head of the PFA there. And he's like, I need your contract. I need your bank statements. Tell me the story. So quickly, he sent them a letter, basically, and then they allowed me to train. But what they do is they let me do the warm-up and say, oh, we've got too many numbers. Just do some running around the pitch. I remember one time they embarrassed me. I can still feel it when So the receptionist, which was a guy, he said, Parker, you're allowed to train today. Go down to the pitch. And then the same guy that said I could train you, we're in a circle and the manager's telling us about what we're going to do at the session. He walks down the stairs in his like suit. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm training. He went, no, you're not. Like he embarrassed me in front of everyone. My head was flying. I literally grabbed all the balls and just started booting them everywhere. I just walked off, like just kicking them out the stadium, bro. I was raging. I was so embarrassed.
I can't believe that.
And then basically what I was doing is I was training alone because then they wouldn't be able to terminate my contract. So they'd say, come in at 7. I'd go in at 7. But I was recording myself. But they'd like make me run on the pitch, but there's no floodlights. So I'd just be running around and I'd just be recording myself saying, I'm running again. It's the 14th of the blah, blah, blah. The team are down there training. They've said I'm not allowed to train. So I started like doing a diary. I was like, today I'm in the gym because the team aren't training, but they've said I've got to be in. So I started basically making a log. Sent this all to the guy. He said, well, technically we can't do anything more. Like, as long as you're there at the same time, we can't say you have to train and you have to. So I was like, cool. And then as time passed, he was like, they were going to Slovenia for another preseason. This is in June. And they took me with them, but they said, we can't pay you in August now. We'll pay you in December.
Oh my days.
So I'm like, nah. So then I'd gone from training for the first week in Slovenia with the team and played one game, like 45 minutes of a pre-season game, to on my own. So I basically just had a holiday. Like my mum came out with my missus and my son, and I was just basically on my own, like with them, which was nice because obviously I got to spend time with them, but I wasn't with the team. And then the PFA guy basically sent them a letter saying, you've had 60 days to pay the money, and you haven't responded. You now have a further 30 or something like that. Or no, 14. You have a further 14, or we'll terminate the contract with just cause and sue you through FIFA. So I'm like, 14 days. I'm either getting my bread, and I've still got 2.5 years left on my deal, or I'm getting all my bread for the whole time. I'm like, win-win. 14 days passed, but as it got to like the kind of final 2 or 3, I'm messaging the guy saying, what's the latest? Had they responded? What's the procedure? So the 14 days passed, and I'm messaging this guy, and he's airing me, and he never airs me. I'm messaging saying, like, is the contract done? Do I need to do anything? Blah, blah, blah. And then I messaged them. No, I called Dexter. And he was like, call this solicitor. Called him, and he was like, you never needed a solicitor to cancel your contract. It's your name on it, so you can cancel it. He said, send them an email while I'm on the phone saying, I hereby terminate my contract with just cause, and I'll be going through FIFA. Boom, do that. 45 minutes, they put some money in my account. what happened actually in turn is they actually took a loan from the government, because remember they're in like 50 mil of debt, and paid me some, but it's already after my contract. So I'm like, I don't accept it. And I'm not accepting any of the money because one, it's not all of it.
Yeah.
And two, it's past the time frame.
Yeah.
So then I remember then I started getting people knock on my door like at night time. So I'm sleeping and people are banging on my door and stuff like that.
What?
Like, yeah, I get mad stuff. Trust me, it's mad.
This is a madness. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, they're obviously trying to intimidate me in it. So
Yeah.
I didn't accept the money, and then I had to fly home for court again. And this is where I messed up. I still, like, in court, I still won to some degree. I basically got paid money for almost my mental health, basically how they treated me.
Yeah.
But when I flew home, I told them I'm going for court, and because I didn't have no bread. I'd literally, when I say I had no bread, I had nothing. My diet every day, I swear to you, God's my witness, was a chocolate croissant and orange juice. Like, I'd get like 4 croissants because they were the cheapest, and orange juice from the shop across the road because I had no bread. I didn't want to keep asking my mum for money because she just sold her yard and she paid for my court. And that's not me even being extreme. That actually was the case. And luckily, taxis in Serbia are like £1 to get to like the local shopping centre. So I'd get a taxi and just bop around the shopping centre. And other players weren't allowed to engage with me, otherwise they get in trouble. So it's just me on my ones. And then, yeah, when I went to, when I flew home for court, I basically messed up because I let them book the flight for me, which means I'm still using my contract, even though I terminated it. So it actually wasn't terminated. So I terminated it, then I'd book the flight after. But the only reason I did that, is because I thought if I tell them I'm going, that they might have someone wait for me or like do something mad, because that's kind of what they were insinuating.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to go home for a couple of days for court, then I'll be back. So then I let them book the flight, which meant I'm still using my contract. So when it came to the whole, I flew home and I said, I'm not coming back. I basically sent them an email, I'm not coming back. It's now with FIFA. About a week later, I got like a proper like hand-delivered document of about 1,000 pages saying that they're suing me.
Right.
That I'd breached my contract by leaving and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to sue me for £2 million.
So how did you get out of that?
So basically, the reason they were trying to sue me for 2 million is because I had a 1.5 million buyout clause, and 2 teams that had come in for me offered 250 grand each, and they're saying I refused the opportunity to leave. So then they were trying to basically sue me for that. But I was like, how can you try and sue me if you're not paying me?
Yeah.
How can I even pay you even if you won? Because you haven't paid me in like 7-8 months, bro.
Yeah.
So then had to get a barrister, which was the one that Dexter originally put me on to. I was like, I've got 2 court things now.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there an agreement that we can come to where it's just a set fee instead of having this like kind of rolling thing? And he was like, I'll do it for this. And it was like 10 bags. I was like, I'm going to say yeah. So he started taking over the case. And I remember, obviously from the June when I left there, I wasn't allowed to sign anywhere because they wouldn't give my transfer papers.
Yeah.
Right.
So then that's when I basically stopped playing football again for another period in my life. And I started working in a coffee shop in Willesden Green that my godfather opened. It's like a hip hop coffee shop. So I've gone from Champions League qualifiers to coffee shop within the space of a month.
Just to end this, did you win did you get your money?
No, so what happened was the actual court hearing, was on my birthday that year, the December. So June till December, I didn't play any football. December the 1st, they basically said this is when the court hearing is.
Yeah.
Obviously, but in between that, there's been loads of back and forths. Like I submitted my evidence. They'd said, oh, he's recorded that without blah, blah, blah. It's weird how they do it. You know, what they do is they'll go, I'll submit like the voice notes and they'll go, in court case 1998 in front of judge blah, 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 it was dismissed that evidence is allowed to be used if the person is unaware that they're being recorded.
Yeah.
So like and then my solicitor's going, yeah, but in court case, it says that
sugar.
it's like they're doing this like back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm reading it like I'm talking like thousands and thousands of pages. So in the end, I didn't get my 2.5 years money, so I was raging all over the sake of a £200 flight. But I got a large lump sum based on basically how they treated me. So it was almost like I don't even know what the term is. Compensation for like my mental health.
Okay, right.
That they had to pay within like 7 days of blah 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 plus the money that they owed me. And then after that, I still don't have my transfer papers. So I remember Wildstone messaged me and basically said, let us try and get your transfer papers. We'll put a request into FIFA. I was like, you won't get it. Because when I first came back from Red Star, within a couple of days, I went and trained at Gillingham and I played a behind closed doors game against Leyton Orient. Scored a hat trick and set up 2. And they were like, we can't sign you. We don't have your transfer papers. Then I went to, this is where it gets weird. I then went to Charlton and trained for like a month. Yeah. Can't sign you, can't even play a resi game because we can't get your transfer papers. Stopped playing football by the end of June or July or whatever it was. Then after I won the court case, Wildstone got my papers. Didn't play a game for them, but it's on my thing. Like it says like that, I signed to them, but I didn't. They just basically made the request and got my transfer papers. In December, my agent went, oh, there's a new manager at Gillingham. He said, you can come in and train for 2 weeks. I was like, I'm not on football. I'll do something else. He was like, my godfather was like, think of how much time and effort you put into football.
Yeah.
Like from the age of 6, if you was in any other job, you'd be the CEO.
Yeah.
And you're just willing to knock it on the head. And he was like, my agent went, go and train. If it don't work out, we'll figure something else out. And if it does work out, it works out. Trained on a Thursday, trained on a Friday, signed on a Saturday. Then remember, I came from Gillingham like 6 months ago. Gillingham was the first team that I played for and they couldn't sign me. I then moved from Gillingham to Charlton.
So that's...
Within the space of 6 months, I got turned down by both clubs because they couldn't sign me.
Yeah.
Then I signed at Gillingham, then signed at Charlton.
Yeah.
And what was it? So what was that like now? So you've gone past all of this, like, turmoil. And is the court case settled with regards to your son yet?
Yeah, but then when I came back to the UK, I went back to court because I'm like, now I'm back in the UK and he's starting school.
Yeah.
I can change it. So basically it went from 10-day block to 1 week on, 1 week off.
Right.
Essentially.
So Charlton and... I'm going to jump into Charlton. No, Gillingham and Charlton. Right. What was it like being back in England, playing again?
It was nice, I can't lie. Just being home was nice. Like, I was that happy to be home that I was driving from Wycombe to Gillingham every day, and it's like a 200-mile round trip or
I
something.
remember that. I said, bro, because I remember I used to do the opposite.
Yeah.
I had to do from Dartford to Wycombe, and that was a madness.
I was like, I just want to be home. Like, I was so happy to be home. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I scored on my Gillingham debut. It ended up being the goal that kept him up that year. Because Port Vale, the team that I scored against, was the team that ended up going down. But Red Star was my biggest achievement in terms of stature and being bought for like a large sum. But Gillingham was my best football.
Right, okay.
Like the kind of peak of my career or the peak of my powers was kind of almost taken away from me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because of the Red Star situation and all that drama for 18 months. Gillingham, I was flying, then had a fallout with the manager. That hero complex that I have. Like, I always have to say something if I see an injustice.
Yeah.
So I was flying at the time there, scoring goals. Had a lot of like interest from clubs. Had a fallout with the manager because he racially profiled one of the young boys. Stuck up for him. This was on a Tuesday night before a FA Cup game that was due to start. He dropped me out the squad, like out of the starting lineup. Didn't put me on the bench. Put the young boy that he'd racially profiled on the bench. And I was like, I need to get out of it because he's not gonna.
Yeah.
It went far. Like the argument was bad. And then 24 hours later, I signed to Charlton. And then got promoted that year.
What was promotion like?
Hey, 10-10. Like, you know what it is? I said, like, that was kind of the final cherry on the cake in terms of everything that I wanted to achieve as a 6-year-old, which was be a professional footballer. I never really said, like, oh, I want to play in the Premier League. Like, obviously, everyone wants that, but I was never like, oh, I want to play in the Premier League. I just want to be a professional footballer. And then playing at Wembley, experience promotion, experience being bought, etc., etc. So that was kind of the final cherry on top. And then left there, went to Wycombe and got promoted again the next year. But the weird thing is, this is another first, because obviously we talk about the Slovenia and the Serbia. I'm the only player in history that has played back-to-back seasons, but at the time it was the biggest playoff crowd in history. But then I played in COVID, empty stadium.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you got promoted with Charlton and then promoted with Wycombe.
Promoted with Charlton in front of like 80,000.
Yeah.
Promoted with Wycombe the following season in front of 0.
In front of 0 people.
That's crazy.
And that's easier for you to get around, to get home, because you was
I was
based
in
in
Wycombe.
Wycombe. Yeah, you was in Wycombe.
I had other options that like would have paid me more, but I was like, I could be home for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like home. I haven't been home since I was 20.
And what's the distance between you seeing your son and stuff like that?
My son's close. My son's in Wycombe.
Wycombe. Okay, perfect.
So that was like another big factor, and he's about to start school.
But then you also got promoted with your team that you're with now.
Yep.
Oxford City as well.
Yep.
So you've just been on promotion
Yeah,
journeys.
you know what it was? No, it's not me waffling, and there is a spiritual aspect to this, or like maybe a godly aspect, where wherever I've gone, things have always gone good for the club.
Right, okay.
Even if I play a bit part, 1 game, 10 games, I always think of QPR. QPR had been promoted for time.
Yeah.
As soon as I get in the first team squad, I'm not playing, but I'm just in and around it.
Yeah.
They get promoted, so I get to experience that. I'm in and around it.
Yeah.
Red Star went on a run. I think they broke Arsenal's run of wins. I think it's like something like 50 games unbeaten, 55 games unbeaten. And then they also qualified again for the Champions League, but they'd been banned for like 5 years.
Right.
Go to Charlton. Charlton had been in League One for ages. The last time was X amount of years ago. Go there and we didn't finish in the top 3. I think we finished 6. Went on to win. Go to Wycombe. Wycombe have never been in the champ.
Yeah.
Went to the champ. And I started to see a pattern of behaviour. I went to Burton and they were in the relegation. They were bottom of the league. And I was like, I didn't want to go to Burton because I had better options and closer options. I was like, 1, I wanted to play under Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, which I regret now. But 2, I wanted to kind of put the theory to the test. This is my agent. I've still probably got the message. If I go there, they won't go down because I just keep seeing this pattern of behaviour.
Yeah.
They went on something like a crazy unbeaten run, and they had like by the end of the season, there was 13 games left when I went there. I think they had the second best form in the league and stayed up. Then I went to Oxford when I left there. And I went there in October.
Yeah.
And I still got the message, and I posted it when we got promoted. In October when I signed, I said, if you want to get promoted, sign me. Went there, got promoted. They've never been in that league either.
Wow. Oh my God. Your journey has been mad. Like, Josh, listen, time permitting, but there's so much more that I want to. I feel like we need to do like a Instagram live, man. Something because there's so much. But before we do finish, like maybe you can bring that same energy to Ballers League. Talk to us about like what do you call it? Like how's that journey there?
It's interesting because I think if I was to leave the team I'm in, I think whatever team I go to wins. I go, which I don't know where I will go, if I will go. But yeah, that's what I think. I also think it's funny because Westy ties into this, but the final thing that I've never achieved that I want to achieve, I want to go Gold Cup with Antigua.
Okay.
That's the last thing, like that will just complete my whole career, my whole world. Because that'll be another first. It's like when I was captain, there's another first. I captained, or we was part of the team that got the highest ranking for Antigua ever.
Right, okay.
A country of 100,000 got to 70th in the world. It shouldn't really happen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the final thing in my career. And it's funny, and I don't believe in coincidences, but there may be a potentiality, Westy doesn't know this either, that the next manager of Antigua will be the same manager that I had at Charlton.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, is it?
I think you told me.
Is it?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So let's kind of make this happen. This happen. Josh, honestly, bro, thank you so much for coming on, man. Like on a real, like, and just your journey in itself, bro, like I don't know. You have to have a lot of resilience.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of resilience.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm like when I hear like, especially your journey, I gotta give you praise because I couldn't.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could have done that.
You see, I would have been gone a long time.
Do you know what
I
it
couldn't
is?
have stayed there. I would have been gone. Do you get me?
I think it's more about being able to have the restraint.
Right, and I tell you where that comes from, and I've only learnt this since I've been kind of doing my mentoring, my own inner work, my retreats, speaking with people. The only reason, and this is a fact, or I believe it to be a fact, the only reason I was able to get through it is my reactions to all of those things were a trauma response. So I had to almost be semi-thankful for the bad times.
Right, okay.
The only reason
Talk us through that, yeah.
The only reason I was willing to fight a fight that I didn't really need to fight is because I couldn't do second best. And the reason I couldn't do second best is because I didn't have my dad around. And my dad having 2 sons that are only one's a month older than me and one's 2 years older than me, is I growing up felt second best. So that's why I'm so argumentative. I can't not say anything. It's a trauma response. I'm like, I can't do second best, especially from a righteous perspective. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But if there's a chance that I can potentially win, I ain't backing down.
Yeah.
I would have stayed there for the 2.5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to salute you, man, and genuinely, because of the fact that it's having that restraint and just being real, bruv. Like, growing up on the council estate, growing up in the ends, like, you know what our response is more time. Like, we think we're bad. And the thing about it is, when I say we think we're bad, it's not like, you know what it is? I always say this, that I've never been a roadman. I'm just from the hood.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, so if you talk to me a certain way, don't think you're going to get a response that's going to be kind.
That's essentially, like, I would say, I'm not from the streets, but I was on the pavement.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I was seeing it,
yeah.
but I weren't really ever involved in it. But you get it. You get every aspect of it.
100%. And more time having to not respond like that, like, especially when we feel like it's a violation as well. That's...
I need to say something. Just come to me. No. No, I just had one. I've got to big your mum up, you know.
100%, bro.
Listen,
Listen.
let me tell you something.
Shout out Mumsy, man.
Taking all her leave to make it.
Selling the yard.
Giving you able to give you time to see your son, selling a house.
To downgrade.
To downgrade for you to have money.
Yeah.
Nah, Mumsy, big yourself up.
And you know what?
Trust me.
And you know what? On top of that,
hey, but wait. We'll speak about this off camera, but there's another side to it.
I know. But big up Mumsy still. Big up Mumsy, because that act is.
Yeah. Like,
bro, like, but what if she didn't, Josh?
Like,
do you know what I'm trying to
my
say?
mum is one of the very few. I'm not discrediting anyone's mum, but that would do that. Sell her yard.
Yeah. That's
like, she gave me like a lot of money. I'm talking like 50k upwards.
That's what I'm saying.
But to even, the thing about it as well, to even do all of that, like, we don't know how much worry she must have been having each night because she's not there.
I had this conversation with her a couple of days ago where I was like, now as a parent, and you'll get it, she was just doing what she felt was her role. But I was like, it goes back to that where we started the conversation of duality. I said, I now get why you did it. Because you love me that much that it hurts.
Yeah.
It's that duality. Same pole. But like, when I think about my kids, I love them so much that I could cry. And they will never know how much I love them until they have kids of their own. Because then they can experience the love that I have for them. So it's like the duality of, I love you, but when I think about how much I love you, it actually almost makes me feel a bit sick. It's like, you don't get it. You don't get it. I'll do anything for you. Anything for you.
Facts.
It's actually mad, bro. It's actually mad. But before we leave, I've got to ask you this question. What advice would you give to somebody that was struggling?
That's a great question. I would give someone the advice that is struggling. What would it be? It would be lead with love.
Yeah.
So that sounds very broad, but I mean, do everything from a place of like wanting to give without the expectation of return. That's why you see some of the kindest people in the world are flipping homeless people. Because they have nothing to give you other than love, time, attention, the real human things. All the other stuff is just noise. It's just noise. And there's a test, I can't remember what it's called, but basically the one thing that ranks above love is authenticity. So go somewhere where you can be your authentic self. If you can't be your authentic self, then that place ain't for you. And it goes back to that term of go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. So if you can't be your authentic self, that place ain't for you, because part of loving yourself is being able to be authentic.
Josh, man, thank you so much, bro. Like, listen, I'm giving you a round of applause.
Big.
This was too good, man. This was too good. Listen.
I thought I had a mad career. Jeez, just nah. This was a top episode, man, and we appreciate you coming on, man, because I know this is gonna help so many people, and even people that know you, if they that thought they know you, now they're gonna actually hear some of the stories and the things that you went through and your mindset and how you think and stuff. So this is definitely going to be a top episode. I have no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. People, if you are struggling or you are like looking for a space to kind of connect or anything like that, you can go on our mental health page on our website. You can check in with us. We'll be here to try and offer support. And obviously, Josh has got his retreats as well. So, Josh, like, listen, if you can reach out to Josh. Josh has a different way of obviously how he looks at the well-being of himself, and that might be the thing that works for you. Do you know what I mean? So, people, like I say, this. I'm still. Do you know what it is? It's just. I just say, like, the last thing I'll say is, you said something about like homelessness people leaving with love, right? And for a lot of people, they are one paycheck away from being in debt. Do you know what I mean? And to think that you've gone through the whole of that, not getting paid, having to deal with that, and while not being played, not being able to play, right? Dealing with that mental, everything on top, bro. Listen, Josh, like, proud of you, bro.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. This episode. No, it's been heavy. It's a heavy episode, bro. It's a heavy episode,
What are you saying?
man.
If you was drinking, you'd have a whiskey now.
Oh, bro, I'd have a strong Lucozade original right about now, bro. Like, yeah. But yeah, I'm Kerry Phillips.
I'm Miles Weston,
and this is the Set Piece Podcast.
If you've been affected by anything discussed in this episode, we encourage you to seek support. Visit our mental health resources page at www.thesetpiecepodcast.com for help, guidance, and more information. Because when it comes to mental health, every mind deserves extra time.